So, part two of habits that we talked about this morning. What do you need to start, stop, continue doing? And I'm glad I got to do this right now because I was in a bit of a pissy mood just a little bit ago. It was not good because of things that I decisions that I made during the week to do things. Nobody held a gun to my head, so why be a big crybaby about it when you decided to do it? So that's what I told myself, and it seemed to work out pretty well. It really does. But you have to remind yourself that every once in a while. I'm hoping that I'm back in my studio, as you can see, and I'm standing up. I'm super excited about that because I don't have to sit down. So, part two, habits. What do you need to start doing, stop doing, or continue doing to get to where you want to go based on what you want to achieve and your goals that you have? And like I said, this is a huge, broad overview of everything, but keeping it simple, and the simplest things that you can do are answering a couple questions. And I went over these this morning, but I'm going to go over them again, but this time I want you to actually do them. So do them, write them down. Actually, a couple of these you can comment down below or wherever and let me know what your answers are if you want. And that would be what's working, what's not working, or what needs work, and what can you do to optimize it or make it better, right? And what can you continue doing? So what do you need to stop doing? What do you need to start doing? And what do you need to continue doing? And I don't know if I want to say need or not. Could be need, but you need to figure out what you want to do. There's a lot of things we need to do that we don't want to do, that we don't do, or we do, and we don't like it. So don't do the things you don't like unless you absolutely decide to do those things. And then realize that you made that decision and suck it up, live with it. That sounds a little harsh, but that's just the way it is. If you make that decision, you have to follow through with it. Those are three questions. Two more questions that are really good to ask. And I kind of already asked these, but if you want to just do two simple questions, period, that's it, end of story. What's the number one thing that you can start doing this coming week? And what's the number one thing you can stop doing? And it doesn't have to be huge. Keep it small and keep it simple, because the bigger and more complicated you make it, the easier it is to not do. So the goal is to make it so simple that you can't not do it. And that's from, I think that's from Tiny Habits. Tiny Habits. I've read so many books on habits. Sometimes I get them mixed up. And that's the two things. Two things. Number one thing to start doing, number one thing to stop doing. And let me know what that is. Tell me. I'm curious. My number one thing to start doing. I did that this week. I started doing these, and I'm not going to be doing this tomorrow. I might do it in the morning. We'll have to see. I realized that I wanted to go do something today, and I was like, oh, 5:30, I need to do my, or I get to do my live, because I do enjoy these. They're actually pretty fun. So hopefully everybody enjoys them as much as I do. And I'm getting them dialed in a little bit. But that's it. And number one thing I need to stop doing is, or I should stop doing, or get to stop doing, is having an inconsistent schedule. When I get really focused on something, and this is things to pay attention to also, but when I get really focused on something, I overdo it. I get excessive. I'm very, I don't know, OCD or whatever you want to call it, about certain things. Obsessive. That's a good word. And I will just go and go and go and go until I get close to burning out. So having my morning and evening routines, like I talk about with everything, but specifically in my sleep program. That was a perfect segue. Didn't even plan that. Also have the sleep program coming up on Monday morning and Monday afternoon. Monday morning for strength athletes, in the afternoon or early evening if you're Eastern Coast, for women only, high performing women only. So check that out. I don't know if I put a link in here or not, but it's humanupgradeproject.com. Both of those are on there. You can go to either one. You have to be a woman to go to the one though. So totally free, and I'm running them one way or another. So be there or be square. And tell me, last time I'll ask, tell me the number one thing you're going to start doing and the number one thing you're going to stop doing this coming week. And keep it simple. Really, really simple. Like, I'm going to start eating a carrot a day. Be healthier. Or something like that. Or I'm going to stop complaining so much. Or I don't know. And with that said, have an amazing day, because it's better than the alternative.